MCU was born with Iron Man, and it died with Iron Man. And you and I both know this. It's the truth. And in this video, I am gonna try and help you through this. You see, when we are dealing with loss, we tend to go through the stages of grief. And the first stage is denial. At the end of Endgame, with Iron Man snapped his fingers and sacrificed himself, we were all sad to see him go. But we knew that this wasn't the end, right? We were told this wasn't the end. The MCU wasn't over. This was just another ending to another phase. And the coming phases were gonna be just as good, if not better. But of course, you and I, we were living in denial. Because the reason that we loved the MCU so much was because it had these incredible characters that we grew to love and care for. And what's more, they all knew each other and cared for each other. And at the end of Endgame, we lost some of our favorite characters, and some of them just went off into obscurity. But Disney told us, Marvel told us, that it was okay. We were gonna get new heroes, better heroes. And we did get new heroes. We got a new Captain America, and he's okay, right? He has wings. He's fine. And unfortunately, we lost Chadwick Boseman. So instead of recasting the character, like many think they should have, we got a new Black Panther. And she's fine too. I mean, she lacks the training, and quite frankly, I don't know how she defeated Namor. But that's fine. And hey, we're getting a new Iron Man, and her name is Ironheart, and she's just as smart, even though she's based on a character that nobody liked, and ultimately it led to her comic book getting cancelled. Unfortunately, these were not the characters we wanted. These are not the characters that made our MCU our MCU. But Marvel and Disney, they don't care. They don't care what we think. They forced these new characters upon us, and they told us, this is your new MCU, and it's better. And when we, the fans, voiced our dissatisfaction, we were attacked by Disney and Marvel. We were called toxic and every other thing you can think of. And all this did was it made us angry. And that is the second stage of grief. Anger towards Marvel for replacing characters that we love with characters nobody cares about. Anger for turning the characters that were left, Thor, Hulk, into complete jokes. I mean, if you look at them now, compared to what they once were, it is sickening what they did to them. It's not character growth, it's character assassination. The Hulk, once a green angry monster that just destroys anything in his path, is now Smart Hulk that's docile and is out here doing yoga in the park. Thor, once an Asgardian warrior who wanted nothing more but to rule Asgard, is now the butt of every joke that gave up his throne. And what ended up happening? Thor Love and Thunder ended up being the worst movie Marvel has produced. And in a panic, Marvel and Disney tried telling us that it's fine. This all leading up to Kang the Conqueror, who is worse and more powerful than Thanos. And when it's all said and done, we're gonna get a bigger movie than Endgame. And who knows, maybe you'll get to see your favorite heroes again. And some of us went along with it, and we listened. We bargained with ourselves, telling ourselves that it's fine. We might get to see Iron Man again. No, I'm afraid this is just another stage of grief. Bargaining. We are bargaining with the fact that although Phase 4 was complete garbage, it's all leading to Phase 5. It's all leading up towards Kang the Conqueror. And Kang will be great. I mean, they won't shut up about it, right? Well, unfortunately, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania dropped. And it was the first installment of Phase 5. The phase they told us was gonna be the good one, be better than Phase 4, and introduced Kang the Conqueror. But after watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, we realized that Phase 5 is no different than Phase 4. Disney is still focusing on pushing a social justice agenda over a compelling story. And just like Thor and Hulk, it made Ant-Man into a bigger joke, an unfunny joke that is incompetent. And as for Kang the Conqueror, who we were told was a bigger threat than Thanos, well, he was defeated at the end of Quantumania. So why should we care about him? Can you imagine that if at the end of Iron Man 2, Thanos showed up and Iron Man and War Machine kicked his ass? We wouldn't have cared about the Avengers, let alone Endgame. He already got his ass kicked. Why should we care about Kang the Conqueror now? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania confirmed that the MCU is over. And that's depressing. It's sad. The MCU, up till Endgame, was damn near perfect. It made going to the movies into an event. And you knew that you were gonna leave the theater buzzing and excited for what's to come. And I am happy that we got to experience that. And yes, it's all over. And I am done caring about the current MCU. Because for me, the MCU died with Iron Man at the end of Endgame. And I accept that. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Sensational.